y'all. I keep wanting to do these videos because I love doing them, but I get really sucked into the editing stuff just to put pictures and stuff in there for you, and it takes me a lot of time. And so anyway, I've been trying not to do that because I've had so many other things to do. So welcome back. And so thank you for everybody who has been watching the videos and who's subscribed to the videos, who's liking the videos, commenting. I appreciate it. You know, I am very active in running the brick and mortar. I'm here every single day, and I do mean every single day. Some days are, you know, 18-hour days. So I'm not quick to get back to all your comments. I do try to sit down and read through them on a pretty regular basis. So, you know, please do leave us comments. I'm probably going to recruit some help for that, for getting through some of that stuff too. And if I don't get back to you right away, please don't get your feelings hurt. Just know that I will. I do see it all. I do read it all. It's important to me. And all of you are important to me. So thank you very much for all the love and support. Lots of people have been coming in the shop and saying, hey, you know, we've been watching your videos, which is interesting to me because I feel like I sit here and talk to myself, and I'm looking at myself while I do it, and it's like kind of crazy. So anyway, I appreciate you, and it's kind of fun. It's a great way for me to share information and for you to see a little bit of the shop. But mostly, you know, it's just a nice warm feeling. I mean, you guys just make us feel so loved, and I just appreciate that. And I'm so excited about how much everybody's stitching, you know, and just enjoying this hobby. This is what I wanted to do when I left my corporate world, and so I love it. So I've got just a few minutes before people start knocking on the door and coming in. My team here, they'll be here in a little while, so I might be talking kind of quick. First out of the box, we are still setting up our Learning Stitches winter learning module, our online class. It's called Learning Stitches. We're using this fabulous book by Jeanette Douglas Designs, and banding, or you can use linen. You're using threads out of your stash. There's not a teaching fee, so you really just need to buy the book and get your supplies in order. And some of you may already have banding, and if you want to buy banding, we have a stock reserved for this class, and only the people in the class can buy it. And I'm also going to hop the pond and go over to Wuppertal, Germany, in just a few weeks and buy a lot more banding. And then I go back again later this year for a second time because I'm going on a tour with my special friend Susan Greening Davis. She's been my mentor for, I guess, 15 years now, and I just love her. I've learned a tremendous amount from her. She is just a wealth of knowledge, and she knows some wonderful people. I've been very privileged and honored to study from some of the most incredible needlewomen in the world, in a few different places in Europe, and of course some here in the U.S. But you know, because of doing these tours and stuff with Susan. So anyway, just wanted to let you know that we'll be buying more banding. So those of you who are doing the iStitch sampler, if you need it right now, right this minute, talk to Susan. And you can find her at sgreeningd, Greening. I'll put a link, sgreeningd@aol.com. And she, I think, still does have some of the banding that they're using for this current iStitch. We're pretty much out of all of that. We've got some things that will work, but they're probably not the right colors. They're the right width, not the right colors. So hang tight with us till, you know, a month from now. We'll be back, or, you know, talk to Susan. I know she's got it. So, Learning Stitches Sampler. To do this, you need to purchase a product that's at zero cost. Tricksy, I know. So, you go to our website and you search for Learning Stitches. All you need to put in is Learning Stitches. You're going to see this book pop up, and then you're going to see the online product to join the class. And it's a zero cost. You download that product. You do have to check out with it, and then it gives you access to some private parts of the website that are reserved for the class. And you'll see, once you get in there, you'll see an intro video, you'll see you know, a web page, you'll see a blog post, you'll start to see videos. We'll be doing some live chats, just a lot to try to, you know, make sure we cover all the different learning methods. We'll be using this book, but we'll be adding some stuff to it. So, you know, you can't get through a lot here without seeing a squirrel. So I'm just going to be upfront about that. And, you know, people are like, oh, Kim, you love squirrels. I like squirrels. They tended to heckle me and throw things at me on my patio at my last house. In my current house, I'm never outside enough to get thrown at. I like squirrels. I think they're interesting and I think they're really cute. But there's another story from that, which if you watch one of our older YouTubes, you'll see it. And sometime I'll tell it to you again. I don't hate them at all. I love them. I think they're really cute and fluffy. But I'm not a fanatic about squirrels, although I'm learning to be. So don't hate me because I picked a squirrel. I had a reason for it. So get signed up for that class if you haven't done it. It's free. Why wouldn't you do it, right? Well, the book's a little expensive, but I'll tell you what you're getting with the book. You get some really great... If you've ever taken anything from Jeanette, you know she's fabulous. So I'm covering up her design under here. So she gives you great designs. There's a lot of stitches in here. I think there are 15 specialty stitches in here. And then at the end of this book is a beautiful sampler, the full chart for this sampler on the front. This is not what we're going to do. We're going to do these specialty stitches plus a couple more. But if you have the book, then you have this chart. And if you can do it exactly like this using her colors. She's even put together a silk kit for it if you wanted to do that. This is very reminiscent of a darning sampler, which is one of the things I'm going to share with you. I've got 2 stunning darning samplers, and they are getting framed right now so that we can see the back and we can handle them. They're really incredibly beautiful and a little bit delicate. And so I've carried them around. I haven't carried them many places, but I've had them for at least 3 or 4 years, and they need to be protected. So in the class, you'll get to see those. And then after we get through the class, if you haven't joined the class, I might show them here and talk about them here. So we're going to give everybody time to get settled in that class, to get their navigation of the little website up and make sure that our website's working. And if you tried to use our website on the 13th of January, you might have been one of the people that said, "Hey, Ken, your website's not working." Well, I'm glad you told me. I didn't really know it, but I did do it. It was my fault. I was trying to set up this private classroom, and I succeeded. Not in just doing that, but in blocking everybody out of everything. So it took until about 4:30 yesterday, which was the 13th, to get that all sorted out. And then I spent until about 11 o'clock last night redoing the classroom the right way, I hope. So, you know, think about that. The other big thing that's out there is our Valentine's Day small exchange. And if you've done that with us in the past couple of years, it's been really incredible. Beautiful, beautiful work that comes in. And so there's already a registration document on our website. You'll find it under workshops, which is also where you'll find the learning online class stuff. You'll find that under workshop and then class shop classes. So you can go out there and you can download the document for the Valentine's Day small exchange. I will tell you, this year is fantastic. We opened it up this year. For 2 years, we did it with Plum Street samplers. This year, we still have Plum Street, but we added Summer House Stitchworks and we added Jeanette Douglas Designs, because the goal is to pick something small off of a chart you already have, pattern you already have, or if you need to buy a new one, that's okay, says the shop owner, but we've got plenty you can see behind me. But if you have something in your stash, you know, I'm all about enjoying the stitch, you know, and you really don't have to spend a ton of money to do that, you know, and I really want to make it accessible for everybody. So, you know, use some small pieces of fabric from your stash, use some thread from your stash, use a chart from your stash. You pick out a small motif and you make that you stitch that motif, and then you turn it into a needlework small. And that would be a needle book, a pen disc, a drum, a pillow, a pin cushion, a scissor fob, you know, all kinds of little things that you can make into something small. Hopefully that they would be utilitarian, but they can be decorative. We all love decorative. You finish it fully finished. Has to be fully finished when we put together. Vonna Pfeiffer has some great tutorials out there for it. We have a few things in some of our older newsletters. I'll try to post a video or two here for you. I haven't been very good with that this year. Been a little busy. But you know, there's lots of resources out there for you to find some finishing techniques. And I know Vanna's done a bunch of them, so you can definitely go. The Twisted Stitcher is what her tutorial site is. And there are many others out there. Just, you know, take a look on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook. You'll find some things for you. And if you're struggling, call me. I know my good friend Melissa Gay made a call the first year, and we talked through how to finish a tart. And it was beautiful when it came in. I wanted to keep it. I want to keep them all. When they come in, it's really hard because we keep them And then, when it's time to make the exchange, we lay them all out and we start to make the exchange. And so that's the next part of that. You send it to me, I think the date, I forget what the date this year is, the 25th of January, the 30th or something like that. It's coming up. We will definitely be making that exchange and getting them back out to the people that participated so that they get there before Valentine's Day. So that means that I'll be mailing them out, before I leave to go to Germany. So I'll be going over to Wuppertal to buy some banding in February, early February. So if you want to do it, take a look at it. You might already have something stitched. You can stitch something small, something quick. We'd love for you to participate. It's been a great group. We're already getting a lot of them in. And, when you send it in, the form tells you everything. When you send it in, you send like $5 with it or something like that. Maybe it's 10, I can't remember. And then we send it back to you, and that just covers the shipping and the processing to send back to you. So you get a needlework small that one of your stitching sisters or brothers made for you. You'll get a really cool freebie from one of the designers, which I'm going to keep that a secret until it comes out. Really cool. Very, very excited. This person went above and beyond, and I'm very grateful for it. So if they see the video, thank you for that. And we may have more because there are 3 designers. So before this day is done, we may end up having more out there. And you'll get a freebie from us at Sassy Jacks. We've already created it, and it's really pretty. So I hope you'll like it. So you get a nice little package, and it comes to you right before Valentine's Day. And you can save it and open it on Valentine's Day, or you can, open it when it hits your hot little hand. That's all up to you. But just beautiful smalls. And I hope you participate. You've got plenty of time. You still have plenty of time. I will tell you, if it comes in by, I don't know what I put on the form. I probably made it kind of early because you kind of have to do that with people. You say the time 30 minutes early, and they might get there on time. That's the way I operate. Not everybody. But honest and true, if you're worried about getting it to me, just give me a phone call. I'll tell you where we are in the cutoff process. But I'm going to say if you get it to me by, the first or early part of February, we're probably okay. I think I probably put January 25th or something like that on there. But if you went to the 30th, you're fine. We'll make that exchange in early February, though. So if you're skating close to that cutoff, give me a call or send me an email, and let's figure out if you can get it in time, because I would love for you to participate. If you send us linen, we send you linen back. We switch you with somebody that did linen. If you send us Aida, and there's beautiful Aida out there, I actually stitch on Aida sometimes because it's such a pretty selection now, then we'll send you Aida back. So we've made beautiful matches in the past, and we've had people who have become friends through that, which is great, because so when you send it to me, you need to tell me who you are, because we're going to send that with it to the person. They'll want to know who stitched that for them. So the Valentine's Day small exchange, don't forget about that. Go look at that. Go do it today. It's time. We have a brand new sampler that launched, and a lot of you have the chart. We've been sending it out. We're super stoked about it. I'm looking for it here right now. I'm afraid somebody's going to walk in here to open while we're talking, but that's okay. We'll just keep on talking. All right, so this is Marian Frame, and she is beautiful, and she's been in our shop for a couple years, and people have been asking me, when is she going to be ready? When is she going to be ready? Well, she's out there. She's done, and I will tell you, we've got some fantastic history on Marian, and it's amazing what you can find on ancestry.com. We found out a lot about this person. She lived to be like, I want to say 71 years old, if I'm remembering that right. She had 2 daughters. She married twice. She's got a really cool history. Her first husband died pretty young, and she married again, and her second husband was 15 years younger than her. And then the first census, when we found the records, they both lied about their age. And he said he was older, and she said she was younger, so that they were only like 10 years apart. And then 10 years later, in the next census, they both told the truth. So I guess the magic wore off a little. But just really interesting. And this is a morbidity verse, and I wanted to talk a little bit about morbidity verses. And a morbidity verse is where there's a focus on death. Well, Mary Ann's father died when she was 2, I think. She was very young when her father died, and that might be part of her focus on death. But this sampler is from 1796. So in 1796, a lot of kids never made it to adulthood. And so, death was a part of life, and as it is always. but especially so then, because things that we recover from now just weren't recoverable then necessarily. A lot of people died by accidents too. You know, life was harder in the modernized worlds then. It's still hard in a lot of places in the world, but for most of us, it's not as hard as it is a lot of other places. But you know, people died from sickness. They died from accidents. They died earlier in life because of disease. So death was just a part of life. And the morbidity verses are usually surrounded by just a beautiful work of art like this one is. And, you know, I always think about them kind of as a celebration of life. You know, I mean, none of us are going to make it out of this alive, sadly. But we really enjoy life. And I think that's what these little girls were doing. You know, they acknowledge that they may not live to adulthood, but what a beautiful world they were in at the moment that they got to stitch this, you know. And so I don't shy away from morbidity verses. I think that they, in their essence, are really a respect and a celebration of life. And so this is a beautiful sampler. We've charted it in Swat Alger, DMCs, and needlepoint ink. I am working on one right now. This is corn tassel, and this is what we're recommending for it. And so it stitches out beautifully. I want to show you the silks for it. And these are the Swat Alger silks. As I mentioned, we've got it in also the needlepoint ink, but you can see that they're just really pretty. It's really hard for me to get you a good picture like this. I'll try to take one laying down. Hard to do that on the video, but they're just really beautiful. And so that's corn tassel. I will tell you another option for this sampler is Confederate Gray. Now that's outside the box. So, you know, it's not for everybody, but it's stunningly beautiful. The antique is probably closer, it's kind of in between really. It's a dark corn tassel. And by that I mean it's like it got dirty. So, there's places in the linen that, you know, don't look so dark. And then there's places that look a little darker just because of its age and its handling. But it's a very stunning sampler. And so I hope you will join us and stitch it. Now, one thing that we do at Sassafras Samplers is we do chart in color. You know, you can see it's a beautiful chart. And we've called out, you know, there's some satin stitches in here, so we've told you those things, and we've called that out and annotated the chart. But we also offer these charts in black and white. We're happy to email them to you. We don't print them just because it would take a lot of money to print, and we try to keep our costs very reasonable. But we are happy to email you a black and white, so please don't let the fact that our charts are in color, if you're not a color chart person, keep you from stitching this beautiful thing. Any of our charts are available to you in black and white. Once you buy the chart, just, you know, send us a note, let us know, and we will send it out to you. So the other thing that we've got going on, there's 1,000 things, I don't know if I'll get through it all, is the Queen Sampler Stitch. And we sponsor that with Fiber Talk. And I know a lot of you had to wait a really long time to get all your silks. And for that, I apologize. We were waiting for the silks. And so I think this past week, we sent out all the remaining silks for that. And so we may have one or two stragglers that we're looking at. But for the most part, everybody has all their silks. Now, we threw in there, once we got it, the DMC ecru, and we didn't even charge anybody for that, the pearl, for the white work, because that's what the pattern called for. I don't think we had it in the beginning, so some of you may not have gotten it, but for most people, we threw that little ball of pearl in there. What we have been doing, I worked with Lamora, who is one of the owners at Access Commodities, who's our major supplier for silks, and a lot of our legacy, all of our legacy linen, and some of our other threads and stuff, and our hoops. We just love them. Lamora is a wealth of information on all things embroidery. A very skilled embroideress, and I appreciate her help and her guidance. But she and I had a long talk a couple months ago, or maybe more, about threads for the white work section of the Queen Sampler. And she worked with another embroidery artist and they made a really good recommendation. So that queen sampler, we're stitching it on Russian Tea Cake from Legacy Linen. And if you're stitching it on Russian Tea Cake from Legacy Linen, these two threads are going to be perfect. One of them is a soie gobelin, and one of them is a linen thread. And I did a test stitch. I haven't made it through all of the white work section to test, but I did an early test stitch last week, and it was beautiful. It's a perfect match. The threads lay perfectly. They're just really beautiful, and they were a pleasure to stitch with. I really enjoyed stitching with this soie gobelin. Now, we carry the full line of this linen thread. This is Lindenberry linen thread. We carry the full line of that in all the colors and all the weights. We carry some soie gobelin, and based on my experience with that, we may bring more of that in. I just fell in love with it. So these are available for those people who are doing the Queen's Sampler stitch, and I'll be putting those on the website. You'll find a link for these below if you want to buy this little set to do your white work. The other thing that you still need is the gold milliary. When we mailed out those first charts, we had some gold milliary, and that makes the little crown on one of the ladies' heads at the end. You don't need it till the very, very end. It'll be the last thing you do. And the white work will be the last part of the stitching that you do. But it took quite a while. Lamora, there's an artist who makes that gold milliary. It's not commonly available, right? It has to be handmade. And so we ordered more of it when we knew that we were going to sponsor the Queen Sampler Stitch Along. And so that stuff has came in. If you have bought the Queen Sampler kit from us, we're going to contact you about the gold milliary. The early people who bought it had some because we had enough that we sold out what we had. But the people who bought after like the first wave did not purchase the gold milliary. We took it out of the kit price, and we didn't want to charge you for something we didn't have, that we knew we didn't have. And so we waited. And so we're going to be sending out emails about the gold milliary. So if you don't have the gold milliary and you purchased from us, then you should expect to get an email. If you don't, let us know. We might miss a few because of the way the purchases go through. So, let us know about that, and we'll get it to you. We really want to try to reserve it for the folks that kitted with us. So if you kitted somewhere else, we're happy to try to help you. Let us get through our folks, and then we'll come back to you, and we'll try to get you some. We don't want anybody not to have it if they want it. But I'm looking forward to that. I have not stitched a sampler yet because I was waiting to get all the supplies out to everybody else. I don't like to take things for myself if I can't get them to other people. And so the first stitches I did were the test stitches with the white work, and I loved it. So I'm excited about getting in with Gary and Vonna and doing the Queen Sampler. I don't know if I'll bother to do it reversibly. I'm going to be doing a couple other things this year reversibly, and I don't know. I don't know if I'll do it reversibly. I might experiment with it and try it just to see. It would be kind of cool, but the other side of me is like, I'm okay with not doing it reversibly. So I'm not going to be your tutor on doing that one reversibly, but I will help you get your kit and your thread. So if you want to join us, they're not very far along. They've been really taking their time with it, and I think I appreciate them for it. I think they've had a lot of other things going on, but I certainly think they were trying to let all of us get our kits and stuff, so thanks for that. But they're a lot of fun. So that's the Queen Sampler. We still have both of the books. You have to have two books if you're going to do it in the colorway from Linda Vinson. You have to have the original chart by Darlene Osteen, which is distributed by Needlework Press, republished by Needlework Press. And you also have to have the Stitch Guide by Linda Vinson, which gives you the updated colors. Now, we'll tell you that Averswa colors have changed significantly since that original chart was made, and Linda shows you what the new numbers would be for that. So, and that's what we use to kit. So, those things said, that is the Queen Sampler. Something new that's happening for us, we're excited about. Well, a couple new things. We started to carry the Scarlet Thread. I'm sorry, the Scarlet Letter. I always want to say the Scarlet Thread because that's the name of the book I really like. The Scarlet Letter charts. And I'm showing you this one because this is Elizabeth Hicks. And my mother's last name, my mother's maiden name was Hicks. And I'm super excited about it because I'm going to be stitching this chart. I told you, didn't I tell you that I was like a serial starter? That was my special secret power. I wanted to show you a little bit about the charts. I don't want to show you the whole chart, but I just want to give you a little glimpse. I mean, these They do beautiful charts. They do fantastic history. This chart anyway is it's just great. I love it. So, you know, if you need a Scarlet Letter chart, reach out to us, let us know. We're trying to get them all set up on the website. We want to thank Fiber Talk for giving us a little push on that, because they featured some of them in their last Sampler Sunday, and it was great timing for us. We wanted to go out and bring them in house. So, just wanted to share that with you, that we've got that going on. Now, 2 more things. My good friend Ann Daw was at our 4th Friday stitch-in this last month, and she said to me, you know, Kim, I love your charts. She goes, I really like charts that have thread legends with them, that are not attached to the chart, that I can like pin to my magnet board and stitch with. And, you know, I went back and looked at our charts, and our charts, there's not room on every page to put a thread legend. And that makes it hard. And I noticed that when I'm stitching my chart and other people's charts, that not having the thread legend on the page is kind of painful for me. I'm having to flip to the back all the time, and flip to the back and flip to the back, because I'm a little bit OCD with maps and with charts. I don't trust myself to remember something. I must check it. And it's very annoying. If you're ever walking with me, do not let me have a map. I'm well known about through several different countries. Nobody will let me have a map because I will stop every 30 feet and check it. I don't care if we've just been going straight. I will stop and check it, and I cannot not do that. I'm about the same way with a chart, which makes me wonder why I have to frog as much as I do, but I do. So we did something that I hope you like. We made thread legend cards, and they are TLCs for short. You don't have to call it a TLC. I was trying to describe it to my husband, and I said, TLC, and he said, oh, that's kind of cool. And I said, yeah, it's kind of cool. So the front of the thread legend card is going to have a picture of the sampler and a blurb from our description of the sampler. And then the back has your thread legend. And it has all the different threads that we used, that we charted it with. So this one in particular, Middlemas Red, was charted with the Verissois and DMC. We have started to add needlepoint ink. So here comes my person. If you walk behind me, you will be on camera. Be warned. I doubt you'll see her for a few minutes. Uh-oh, she'll have to sneak all behind. So this is a thread legend card. So it has the threads on the back. The cool thing about it, too, is that it has the quantities that you need. So that was for Middlemas Red. So this one is Mary Good. And Mary Good also has, you can tell she has the needlepoint ink on the back. So a Verissois, DMC, and needlepoint ink. So I think these will be really helpful to you. I hope that you like them. Here is AC Bluebird Quaker, and you can see it's got all the different threads. Now AC Bluebird Quaker was kind of cool because we did it with the overdyed and the DMC and the Swat LJ and the needlepoint ink. There's a whole bunch of different things. So anyway, thread legend cards. So these will be coming out with our samplers as we go forward. Marian Frame will have one. Now, having said that, if you have one of our samplers that you've already bought that didn't have the thread legend in it, send us a little email, and the next time we send you something, we'll drop it in there. Or if you're in the shop, we'll have them out. You can pick them up. We made enough so that every chart we've ever sold can have one. So, you know, just let us know. We'll get them to you. We would rather not do a special mail for them. But, you know, the next time you make an order, just tell us and we'll drop them in there and then you'll have it. So these are also really nice if you're kidding and you want to take it with you to purchase your threads. So I hope you like that. That's the thread legend card. And those will be coming out with Marian Frame going forward. Some of the Marian Frames have already shipped without them. So as they come in from the printer, then we'll start putting those in and they'll go out. Now, the other big thing that's happening right now is the Stitch Along for the Modern Folk Embroidery design for this year. And it's a beautiful chart. I would encourage you to go out and take a look at it. I didn't bring one over to the table to show you, but he's done a great job this year, Jacob. And I met Jacob really briefly in Europe one time. on one of my needlework tours. I think he was there to talk with Nikki of Nikki's Creations, and I kind of wandered through, and I was so tired. I was just really worn out. I was jet lagged, and I didn't spend any time over there, and I regret it now because he's such a neat person. So maybe next time we cross paths, we'll have a little more time to chat. But Jacob's done a beautiful stitch along this year. You can buy the chart from Jacob from Modern Folk Embroidery, and you will get a PDF version that you download. You can purchase it from us, and we send you a hard copy. And if you bought it from us, we also included some other cool things in it. We put our project card in there for this year. This is our 2020 Jack, and he is off the Bristol Orphanage Sampler at M.H. Smith. And so we put this cool guy in there so that when you finish it, and you will, you can put this on the back. We also put one of our little Sassy Jacks rulers in there, so we try to make it special for you. So I wanted to show you some of the fabric. Now, we've been kitting with Riverstone for that on a 30 count. We also have used 37 count corn tassel. Beautiful linens. We ran out of Riverstone. It's also a legacy linen, and we had to reorder, and it came in this week, and we used it all to make the rest of our kits. And I called Lamora begging for more Riverstone, and because I love to kit with it. It's a great low count alternative. So things that look good on corn tassel from legacy linen, and that is most things, also look really good on Riverstone in a 30 count. And there are a lot of folks out there, for whatever reasons, really like, 30, 32, 28, and I'm all about that. A lot of my stitching happens on that. That's okay. It's beautiful. You don't have to force yourself to do something on a high count linen to have a beautiful result. You don't have to force yourself to use silks to have a beautiful result. They're great if you want to use them, and they are beautiful. But 30 counts, 32 counts, Ada, also very beautiful. And cotton thread, also incredibly beautiful. And to be quite honest, a lot of the antiques from the Bristol orphanages, at least, were done with cotton thread. They weren't done with silk. That's us putting them in silk, and that's okay though. I mean, they're beautiful either way. They're beautiful, and I guess my point is, you do you, and so don't let anybody pressure you into doing something that you A, can't afford, or B, just don't feel comfortable with. This is about enjoying stitching and loving it, and you do you, and we'll help you try to do you. How about that? But I wanted to show you some other 30 count linen, also legacy linen. I did beg Lamora. That's where I was going with that story. Forgive me, I'm like a squirrel. Go figure. And we are getting more Riverstone, but it's going to take a while. And I'm glad you love it. And I appreciate Lamora for bringing it back for us. So we're excited about that. This is a really beautiful substitute for that we're going to probably, for Modern Folk Embroidery. And I will encourage you, if you're not signed up for that, to go ahead and do it. You got plenty of time. It just came out in January. You've got 11 more episodes. This is called Pecan Shortbread, and it's from Legacy Linen. And I know that screens are crazy, and you can't always get a good picture of it on the screen. So I'll try to post you another picture. And this is one of the red threads. And so what we did is we let people pick their preference of sulky thread to do this Modern Folk Embroidery sampler, and we kitted it. I just thought this was a really pretty red, and that's why I brought it out to show it to you on this pecan shortbread, which is beautiful. Also very beautiful on Riverstone. So those of you who got Riverstone, you're going to love it. If you didn't get Riverstone and you want to do it with us, and I encourage you to, because I'm going to, you can definitely use this pecan shortbread. You can use this beautiful red thread. You can use any color. We've kitted it with teal. We've kitted it with purple. We've kitted it with khaki. We've kitted it with gray. We've kitted it with blue. The world is your oyster. And I think that's fantastic, because people don't realize that every human being sees color a little bit differently, just based on the structure of your eye. And so, again, you do you. Pick your color and enjoy it. Now, for those people who wanted to do it on a higher count, we put them over on the corn tassel, which is also what we use for Marian Frame, so you've already seen this. But this was my pick on red. I just thought this was beautiful. And so we've been kitting with needlepoint ink silks for the folks who wanted to do the 37 count corn tassel. You can use this red. This needlepoint ink is in the 500 range. There are others. You can go deeper. You can go brighter. You could use any color you wanted to in needlepoint ink. You can use a Verissoir. You can use Belsoir. You can use whatever you want. I went with needlepoint ink because it takes a lot of silk to do this. You need 10 skeins of silk. You need 8 spools of sulky. And I knew a lot of you were stitching it, and I wanted to be able to get it pretty quick. And I knew I could get this stuff. I actually had a lot of it. So that's why I went with needlepoint ink as a recommendation for kitting for this, because I knew we could get it in really quick and easy. So, you know, feel free to go ahead and sign up for that. The way it's set up on the website is you can choose the kit, and the kit does not include the chart, because you may decide you want to get that chart from us. You may decide you want a PDF version from Jacob, whatever you want to do. You've got the kit, and you've got 2 choices. You've got 30 count Legacy linen, which will now switch over to pecan shortbread. It was Riverstone. Or you can do 37 count Legacy linen and corn tassel. And then you can choose your color. So you just tell us what color of sulky you want for the 30 count, or what color of NPI you want for the 37 count, and we'll get that to you. Now, they are priced for the NPI. So if you want to do a different silk, it's going to be a different price, and you probably want to send us a note or call us. So the kit includes your fibers and your fabric. And then if you want to do the chart with us, which is a hard copy chart, we'll mail it out to you. We'll try to get it to you by the time the month starts. In January, we didn't, for a few different reasons. But, you know, going forward for February and stuff, hopefully we'll get it in such a way that we'll be able to get that to you so that you can start on the first day of the next month. If you want the chart, the cost includes the chart and just a little smidge for shipping for us. And we do throw some extra things in there to make it up to you, since we're having to charge you for shipping. And that covers the full year. So when you sign up in the beginning, you've basically paid for the whole year. And we'll just ship that out to you. Sure that I have lots more that I could talk to you about, but I'm going to end it here because we've got to get to work now. So I appreciate you listening. I appreciate you subscribing. Sorry about my rambling. You know, I appreciate the comments and the questions, and we'll try to circle back to that. I hope you enjoy the Thread Legend cards. I hope you enjoy Marian Frame. I hope you'll stitch the Modern Folk embroidery with us. I hope you'll jump in and stitch the Queen Sampler with us. If you need any hints on how to start something, you just let me know, because I'm good at starting. And if there's any of you out there that are good at finishing, you let me know, and I'll send you a few things you can help me finish. So I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll try to get back in front of you soon.